Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to BTN today. I'm Kevin, and today we're back to our first World War topic. Our topic today is about the religions and genocide. So, in our last topic, we already talked about the enter of the Turkeys in the First World War. But the stories does not end there. Today we'll keep going on what happening after Turkey's loss on the front line on the plans of take back Turkey's old empire. So after that, we know that Enver Pasha's determination to take back the Turkish old empire is not just end here. So while his soldiers were marching across the Sinai desert, or which mean the place that in our last week we knew that took a very sad and yes, one side lose. So he sent more troops to the north, to the Caucasus mountain. The region is home to people of many cultures and religions, whose territory had been fought over by Russia and Turkey throughout the last 200 years. And now this wide mountainous land is the point to provide for the backdrop for one of the biggest human tragedies of the world. So during that time, Islam was the official religion of the Ottoman Turkish Empire. 2 weeks after entering the war, the Sultan declared war, or you could say a holy war, or a jihad against the Allies. In fact, it has been the Kaiser's ideas. For somebody who don't know the name Kaisers, you should watch the last topic about the entry of Turkey into the First World War. And of course, he hoped that a jihad would inspire Muslims in India and Egypt to rise against the British Empire and could knock them out of the war so that they could keep the amount of the Allies down. So that means they get more advantage in fighting. But the Sultan's call for the jihad was largely ignored. Even the new Turkey, they are not even trying to think about the jihad. They just going better and try to take more territory because they having their own plans of politicals and on let's say on their war plans. So however, in the Caucasus region, Enver already exploited local religious tension with a horrific consequence. In December 1914, Turkish troops invaded to the Caucasus, and of course, they aiming to ambush the Russian or Shakmamish. Since the Russian defeat at Tannenberg and the Masurian Lake, much of the Russian army has been transferred to the front line, and there is only 60,000 men in the back line, or you could say on the country, on the center. So when the British heard that, when the Russia heard that there was a number of the, let's say, double there's the number of enemies that is almost doubles the team, they was rapidly retreat. And of course, the Russians tried to get out of the war. Then the weather, the god turned surprisingly to the Russian side. On that time, the weather turning bad with a quick speed. And of course, the temperatures plummeted and the blizzard left the Turkish frozen. So after that, the Russians take more troops and come back for a counterattack. And of course, the Turkish lost over 75,000 men, and also there's 30,000 men that died not by guns or by the Russians, but just by being frozen in the cold weather even before meeting the enemies. And of course, after the disaster, so Enver Pasha looked for another, let's say, a group, someone or some place, so that he could blame his defeat on. And of course, they were Christian minority, the Armenians. So there is the truth that some Armenian soldiers during the Turkish fight in the centers of Russia when they rushed from the Caucasus was turning to the Russia side in the hope of trying to get back the independence for the Armenians. And of course, when the Turkish army lost, the leader tried to blame onto the Armenian society that because there's people who turning into the side during the war, that's why we cannot making more plans and that's why we lost. So he started a genocide for the Armenians. So Armenians in the spring of 1915, all Armenians in the Turkish army were rounded up and sent to work camps where mostly all of them died. But the persecution did not end there. In June 1915, the Turkish government ordered the deportation of all Armenians to Aleppo in Syria. Fired up with anti-Armenian and anti-Christian feeling of the citizens, they start to throw them out of their home, and of course seizing their position, raping the woman. Raping, yeah. So raping the Armenian woman. So after that, they were herded across the Syrian desert, forced to make the 800 kilometers journey just by the foot. Just by their feet and with no food, or you could say very little food. Okay, and of course, mostly all of the Armenians who were survived in the work camps died again. And of course, there's just a very small amount of them survived on the journey. And after that, they are not freed yet. The Turkish government then ordered to get them into jails, or you could not say as jails, but this could be called as some working camps. It's another kind of camps, okay? And altogether, at least 800,000 Armenians died in what is now considered a brutal act of genocide in all the First World War history. And for some people who don't know, there's a fun fact that I think most of you know, but yeah, some people still don't know it all, that Hitler is the one who created the biggest genocide ever in the world. But that things work with Israel and work with, let's say, people in Israel. They are not working with others religions and other countries. And also the time is very different. The genocide was made by Hitler happened on the Second World War, and our topic is just only focused on the First World War. So for some of you guys that don't know and think that I'm talking the wrong things, that Hitler should be the most brutal people, the most brutal leader that created the biggest genocide, not the Turkish government. So maybe you have mistake, or you could say misunderstood about the time between the First World War and the Second World War. So that's I want to talk with you guys today about the genocide and religious fight, or you could say the holy war. So I think our videos today is almost long. So see you in my next video, and I'm trying to make my video better. Bye bye.